Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel Dr.Sreenivas Medical Concepts and my FB page Dr.Sreenivas Concepts. This is Dr. Sreenivas, neurologist from Rajahmundry, Andhra Pradesh, India. My email is sreeklpm@gmail.com. I'm also the medical author of the two books Focused Neurology and Exam Oriented Clinical Neurology. We are continuing with the neuroimaging concepts and spinal cord disorders. So today we'll be talking about immune-mediated disorders. So neuroimaging concepts, part 34, spinal cord disorders, part 2, immune-mediated disorders. Immune-mediated disorders either could be due to CNS inflammation or due to systemic inflammation. In CNS inflammation, it could be either multiple sclerosis, neuromyelitis optica, or acute disseminated encephalomyelitis, paraneoplastic. Systemic inflammation, it could be either because of systemic lupus erythematosus or neurosarcoidosis. So immune-mediated disorders, we have CNS inflammation, systemic inflammation. CNS inflammation includes multiple sclerosis, neuromyelitis optica and ADEM. And in systemic inflammation, we have systemic lupus erythematosus and neurosarcoidosis. Very important about the neuromyelitis optica is that it is longitudinally extensive transverse myelitis, unlike multiple sclerosis, which involves short segments. So longitudinally extensive, that means it should be more than the 3 segments. So here in the imaging, if you can see, it is extending. See, it's an extensive. The hyperintense signal is the demyelination, is the inflammatory process. So here you can see longitudinally extensive lesion, this hyperintense signal. So it is going up till here. So it is more than 3 segments. 1, 2, 3, more than 3 segments. So this longitudinally extensive transverse myelitis is one of the key features of neuromyelitis optica. Unlike multiple sclerosis, which affects less than 3 segments. So very important is that longitudinally extensive transverse myelitis. And then it is characterized by a triad. There will be optic neuritis, transverse myelitis, and area postrema syndrome. Area postrema syndrome is the place where it lacks the blood-brain barrier. Generally, brain is protected from toxins because of a tight endothelial junctions known as the blood-brain barrier. So anything in the blood cannot traverse easily into the brain because of this blood-brain barrier. It is protective in nature. Otherwise, lot of toxins can enter into the brain and can cause toxic encephalopathy. But few regions, the 2 regions which do not have blood-brain barrier are the periventricular areas, circumventricular organs. What are the 2 regions? One, the region where the hormones from the brain have to enter into the blood. So they lack the blood-brain barrier. If the hormones produced in the brain, if there were to be tight blood-brain barrier, it cannot enter into the blood and can produce its manifestations. Hormones cannot produce its manifestations. So in that area, the nature has created a blood-brain barrier which is not tight, which lacks blood-brain barrier. So example, pituitary gland. So pituitary gland does not have blood-brain barrier because the hormones produced in the pituitary gland has to get into the blood, and therefore it lacks a tight blood-brain barrier. Second area is the area postrema. This is the area where the toxins are identified and it produces vomiting so that we get rid of the toxic substances. So if toxic substances, if the brain cannot detect the toxic substances because of the tight blood-brain barrier, then it cannot result in vomiting. And therefore centers wherein we need to get rid of the toxic substances so that the brain can analyze and identify it also lacks blood-brain barrier, that is area postrema. So that the toxic substances which enter into the blood can be identified by the brain because they lack the blood-brain barrier and can result in vomiting. Example, area postrema. Classic example is the chemotherapeutic agents. When give a lot of chemotherapeutic agents, it produces vomiting because it goes and stimulates the area postrema. So neuromyelitis optica has got a peculiar tendency to affect area postrema, resulting in hiccups and vomiting. So neuromyelitis optica is characterized by long extensive transverse myelitis and by optic neuritis, transverse myelitis and area postrema syndrome. So these are all the important concepts of immune-mediated spinal cord disorders. The other important clinical neurology concepts I put in a book called Exam-Oriented Clinical Neurology. It will be very useful for students preparing for clinical neurology exams. The other important theoretical aspects of neurology, I put it in a question and answer format in a book, Focused Neurology, written by me, Dr. Sreenivas. This book will be very useful for students preparing for oral exams or viva exams. This book is available online from all leading booksellers, including Amazon. So if interested, this book could be purchased online. I hope you have enjoyed listening to these wonderful concepts of immune-mediated spinal cord disorders. If you have enjoyed it, please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. Sreenivas Medical Concepts, which is one of the India's leading neurology educational YouTube channels, and my web page, Dr. Sreenivas Concepts. Thank you.